The blessing coming your way will make you forget the pain. You may look at your present circumstances and see only the weight of sorrow, the ache of waiting, and the silence of unanswered prayers. Yet I tell you, every moment of pain has been shaping you, preparing you, refining you for the beauty that now draws near. Understand this, nothing you have endured is wasted. Every tear, every disappointment, every restless night has been building a greater capacity within you to receive what is already yours. Life never takes without giving back in greater measure. Do not mistake your pain as punishment. It has been a passage, a bridge from who you were to who you are becoming. The blessing that approaches will be so radiant, so full, that it will eclipse the shadows of the past. What once seemed unbearable will be remembered no more, for joy has a way of erasing sorrow. Hold the vision of your desire as though it were already accomplished. See yourself walking in that new reality. Speak from it, think from it, live from it. The moment you shift your inner gaze, you align with the unseen blessing already rushing toward you. And this is that key. When it comes, you will not even remember the sleepless nights of worry. You will not recall the heaviness that once sat upon your chest. Instead, you will stand amazed at how everything conspired to bring you to this point of overflow. Your story will not end in pain. The blessing will rise like the morning sun, dissolving the darkness of the night. You will laugh again, love again, breathe freely again. And the memory of the struggle will vanish, for the new joy will be greater than the old sorrow. So rest in quiet assurance. What you have imagined, you shall one day hold. What you have prayed in silence will shout aloud in victory. And the blessing coming your way, so full, so perfect, will make you forget the pain forever. Pain is not permanent, it is only a shadow that precedes light. When pain enters your life, it often feels as though it will never end. It lingers in the body, in the heart, and in the mind, convincing you that the weight you carry is eternal. Yet pain, no matter how heavy, is never the final chapter. It is a passage, a moment, a temporary shadow cast upon the path of your becoming. Shadows are not the substance, they are but signs that light is already present and drawing nearer. The shadows are not the substance, they are but signs that light is already present and drawing nearer. When we go through pain, we forget that it is not the whole story. It is not the reality, but merely an appearance. Pain magnifies itself, convincing you that it defines your existence. But the truth is, it cannot last. It is like the night before dawn, dark, quiet, and seemingly endless, yet destined to be broken by the rising sun. In the same way, pain precedes the unfolding of new joy, of new beginnings, of blessings already set in motion for your life. Pain often comes to reveal strength you never knew you had. It stretches the heart, sharpens the mind, and prepares the spirit for more than you once thought possible. Think of a seed buried in the soil. To the seed, the darkness and pressure of the earth might feel like pain, yet it is precisely this burial that allows it to rise, to break through, and to see the light. Without that seeming suffering, there would be no growth, no blossoming, no fruit. So too is your pain. It is not punishment. It is preparation. It is the shadow before the light of your own flowering. Pain is also a teacher. It calls your attention inward, asking you to let go of what is no longer serving you. It strips away illusions, false identities, and attachments to things that could never sustain you. It brings you face to face with the truth of who you are and the power that resides within you. Though painful, these lessons clear the path for the greater life that waits ahead. Without them, you might remain asleep, unaware of the vast possibilities prepared for you. You must remember that no shadow lasts forever. It shifts, it moves, it disappears as soon as light is allowed in. Likewise, the pain you feel today is already dissolving in the presence of the unseen blessing that approaches. You may not yet see it with your eyes, but it exists, waiting for the right moment to enter your life. The promise of light is always greater than the fear of darkness. So when pain visits you, do not call it permanent. Do not write it into the story of your life as if it defines your destiny. It is only a visitor, and like every shadow, it will pass. What is coming will shine so brightly that the memory of your suffering will fade into nothingness. The blessing will be so complete, so full, that you will look back and realize the pain was only the shadow that told you the light was near. Every struggle contains within it the seed of transformation. Nothing in life is without purpose, and no difficulty enters your path without carrying within it a hidden gift. When you face struggle, it may appear as though life is against you, as though the forces around you are working to break you down, yet beneath the surface of every hardship lies a silent promise. This is not the end, but the beginning of a greater version of yourself. Struggle is never there to destroy. It is there to awaken, to refine, and to expand the depths of your being. Think of the way nature itself operates. A caterpillar must endure the darkness of the cocoon before it spreads its wings as a butterfly. The process is not easy. In fact, if the butterfly is freed too early from the cocoon, its wings will never develop the strength needed to fly. The struggle within that confined space is what transforms weakness into power. So it is with you. The pressure you feel, the resistance you face, is building within you the capacity to rise beyond what you thought possible. Struggles are the soil in which transformation grows. They strip away what is unnecessary, forcing you to discover what is essential. They break down the outer shell of who you thought you were so that the deeper truth of who you really are can emerge. Without this struggle, you would remain unchanged, repeating old patterns and clinging to old identities. It is the very friction of difficulty that pushes you toward growth. When you are in the middle of struggle, it is easy to see only the pain and to overlook the seed it carries. Yet, if you look closer, you will find that every hardship is teaching you endurance. Every setback is revealing strength, and every heartbreak is opening the heart to a deeper capacity for love and compassion. The seed is always there, but it is hidden, waiting for you to water it with faith, patience, and vision. Transformation does not happen in comfort. It happens when comfort is removed, when you are forced to stand in places you never imagined you could survive. Struggles stretch the boundaries of your being, expanding your vision and your ability to imagine a new life. What once seemed impossible becomes possible because struggle has enlarged your capacity to hold it. You must understand that no struggle is meaningless. Even the ones that break you, even the ones that bring you to your knees, are shaping you into something greater. What feels like an ending is often the very beginning of your transformation. The seed cannot remain a seed. It must crack open, it must break, for the new life within it to emerge. That breaking is what you call struggle, but it is also what makes the miracle of transformation possible. So do not curse your struggles, do not see them as enemies. They are the very ground from which your blessings will spring forth. Within the difficulty you face today is the seed of tomorrow's greatness. Water it with belief, nurture it with perseverance, and one day you will look back and see that the very thing you thought would destroy you was the thing that gave birth to your transformation. The blessing already exists in the unseen and is moving toward you. What you long for, what you dream of, what you have prayed for in silence, is not something that must be created anew. It already exists in the invisible realm, waiting for the appointed time to be revealed. Just because your eyes cannot yet behold it does not mean it is not real. Reality is born first in the unseen, and only afterward does it take form in the visible world. The unseen is the womb of creation. Everything you have ever touched, every experience you have lived, every opportunity that has entered your life was once invisible. It existed as thought, as energy, as potential. Then, by alignment and belief, it took on shape and became part of your lived experience. The blessing you await is no different. It is not distant. It is not uncertain. It is already moving toward you, seeking you as much as you are seeking it. It is an inevitability, as if everything toward you sees you as much as you are seeking it. When you desire something deeply, you are not calling it into being. You are responding to the call it has already made to you. There is a union between the desire in your heart and the blessing that exists for you in the unseen. Desire is the evidence of what already belongs to you. It is the signal that what you seek is on its way. The moment you feel the desire, you can be certain that its fulfillment already exists, prepared and waiting. But you must not live only by what the eyes see. The visible world often shows delay, contradiction, and lack. If you let appearances dictate your belief, you may think the blessing is far away, yet in truth it is already closer than you know. It is moving steadily in your direction, carried by the unseen forces of life that arrange all circumstances to bring you into alignment with it. Think of a seed buried in the earth. You cannot see it growing. Days may pass, and to the natural eye there is only soil. But beneath the surface, in the unseen, roots are forming, life is stretching upward, and soon the sprout will break forth. The fact that you cannot yet see it does not mean growth is not happening. So it is with your blessing. It is alive. It is moving. It is unfolding quietly, and at the perfect time it will emerge before your eyes. Trust this unseen movement. Trust that the blessing has heard you, that it is on its way even now. Doubt and fear only cloud your vision, but faith allows you to rest in assurance. You do not need to chase it, force it, or struggle for it. All that is required is belief, expectancy, and the willingness to receive. The blessing already exists. It is not being formed, it is being delivered. Hold to this truth and know that your waiting is not in vain. Very soon, what was once invisible will stand before you in undeniable reality, and you will know that it was always moving toward you. The mind must shift from the memory of suffering to the vision of fulfillment. As long as you dwell on the memory of what hurt you, you continue to relive it. The past pain replays itself in your imagination, and though the event may be long gone, the emotions remain alive within you. The mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is remembered. It only knows what you continue to impress upon it. If you hold on to the memory of suffering, you carry yesterday's chains into today, and they prevent you from stepping into the freedom that already awaits you. Every blessing, every new beginning requires a shift within the mind. The vision of fulfillment must become stronger than the echo of pain. You cannot serve both, dwelling on the sorrow of the past and expecting the joy of the future. The two cannot live together in harmony. To move forward, the mind must release the grip of old memories and choose instead to live in the state of what you desire. Understand this: memory is not destiny, it is only a recording of what once was, not a prophecy of what must be. If you replay suffering again and again, you plant it into your future as if it were seed. But if you dare to replace those images with visions of fulfillment, if you imagine yourself healed, whole, successful, and free, you begin to water a new reality. The mind is a fertile ground, and what you plant within it must eventually take form in your life. The shift requires discipline. Suffering often calls for your attention, pulling you back into its story. But you must refuse to give it power. Instead, feed the mind with images of joy, of completion, of answered prayers. Feel now what it would be like to stand in the life you long for. Experience the emotions of fulfillment before it arrives, and in doing so you draw it nearer. This shift does not deny that pain existed. It does not erase the past, but it refuses to worship it. Pain may have shaped you, but it is not meant to define you. Its purpose was to move you toward transformation, not to imprison you. By shifting your inner gaze from memory to vision, you reclaim your authority over life. You declare, I am not what I suffered. I am what I choose to become. The moment the vision of fulfillment takes root in your mind, the memory of suffering begins to lose its grip. The joy of what is coming overpowers the sadness of what has been. Soon the pain that once felt so real becomes nothing more than a shadow fading into the distance. What dominates your inner world will shape your outer world, and when you choose fulfillment, the blessing must appear. So release the memory of suffering. Do not carry it one step further. Lift your eyes and see yourself already standing in the answered promise. The more you live in that vision, the sooner it will be revealed. The mind must shift, for in that shift lies your freedom. What you dare to imagine as true will one day stand before you as reality. Every image that you hold in your mind, every thought that you clothe with conviction, begins to take root in the unseen and prepares itself to be born into your world. Imagination is not mere fantasy, it is creation in its earliest stage. The outer life you experience is nothing more than the harvest of what was once imagined within. If you look around at your life right now, you will see the reflection of past beliefs, past visions, past assumptions. What you dared to accept as possible has already taken shape around you. The word dare is important. Many people imagine, but few imagine with courage. To dare to imagine means you no longer measure your desires against present circumstances. You no longer say, I will believe it when I see it. Instead, you boldly declare, I will see it because I believe it. To dare to imagine is to claim a reality that contradicts the evidence of the senses and to persist in that claim until the outer world rearranges itself to mirror the inner truth. All things are first created in thought. The architect draws the building before it ever touches the ground. The composer hears the music within before a single note is played. The inventor sees the possibility in the mind before it becomes an object in the hand. And so it is with your life. Every blessing, every dream, every transformation begins as imagination accepted as fact. When you imagine yourself whole, loved, prosperous, and free, and when you dare to believe it is already yours, you set in motion the law that must bring it to pass. The reason imagination is so powerful is that it bypasses limitation. Reality as you see it may tell you that your dream is impossible, that too much time has passed, that you are not enough. But imagination does not bow to these limitations. It creates freely. In the moment you align yourself with its vision, the unseen begins to weave circumstances, people, and opportunities together to make it visible. Many dismiss imagination as childish, but in truth, it is the key to transformation. Children live in imagination, and in their world, all things are possible. As adults, we bury this gift beneath logic, fear, and doubt, and then wonder why our lives repeat the same patterns. The moment you return to imagination, the moment you dare to claim something higher as true, you awaken the creative force that has been within you all along. So ask yourself, what do you dare to imagine? Do you dare to see yourself free from the pain of the past? Do you dare to imagine abundance flowing into your life with ease? Do you dare to see yourself loved, chosen, and whole? If you do, and if you persist in that vision, then life has no choice but to bring it before your eyes. What you dare to imagine as true will one day stand before you as reality. For imagination is the seed, and reality is the harvest. The blessing will not only heal the wound, but make you forget it ever existed. Pain may feel permanent when you are in the midst of it. The wound seems deep, the scar inevitable, and the memory too heavy to ever release. Yet what you must understand is that life never leaves you broken without also preparing a restoration so complete that the very thing which once brought you sorrow will lose its power over you. The cause of all scarcity. The blessing that is coming does not simply cover the wound. It transforms it. It does not merely patch the broken places. It renews them so fully that you begin to wonder if the wound was ever truly there. Healing on its own brings relief, but the blessing goes further. Healing allows you to live with the memory of what was lost, but the blessing brings a new life so abundant that the memory fades into silence. You will not sit in bitterness over what happened, because the joy that comes will be so much greater than the pain that was. The blessing has a way of rewriting your story, taking what once seemed like an ending and turning it into a beginning so radiant that the old sorrow dissolves into insignificance. Think of a person who has walked through years of hardship, who has known loss and loneliness, only to step into a season of love, abundance, and peace. The past does not vanish, but the weight of it disappears in the light of what now is. The new joy overpowers the old sorrow. The fulfillment of the blessing creates such beauty in the present that the wounds of yesterday no longer hold space in the heart. This forgetting is not denial, it is transformation. You do not erase the memory by force. Rather, the new blessing fills your life so completely that the old memory loses its grip. Imagine a room filled with darkness. The darkness is real, but when you light a single candle, the darkness cannot remain. In the same way, the blessing is a light that enters your life. It shines so brightly that the darkness of past wounds simply disappears, replaced by radiance. There will come a day when you no longer think of the betrayals, the losses, the disappointments, or the tears. Instead, you will look at what surrounds you, the answered prayers, the opportunities, the love, the peace, and you will know that the wound has been not only healed, but completely overshadowed by the greatness of the blessing. This is the nature of divine restoration. It is never partial, never incomplete. It gives in such abundance that the old lack becomes irrelevant. It heals so thoroughly that the scar fades until it cannot be remembered. The blessing transforms your life into such beauty that even the deepest pain of the past cannot compete with the fullness of the present. So hold on in your season of struggle. Do not fear the wound you carry, for the blessing that approaches will not simply soothe it, it will overwhelm it. It will flood your life with such goodness that you will rise one day, smile, and realize that the wound you thought would define you is no longer part of your story. The blessing has made you whole, and in its fullness, it has caused you to forget the pain ever existed. The journey through pain, struggle, and waiting is never without meaning. Each shadow that touched your life was only a sign that light was drawing near. Every tear, every hardship carried within it the seed of transformation, preparing you for the blessing that already exists and is now moving toward you. The moment you shift your mind from the memory of suffering to the vision of fulfillment, you align yourself with the unseen promise that longs to reveal itself. What you dare imagine with conviction will one day stand before you. And when the blessing arrives, it will not only heal the wound, but erase the memory of the pain itself. Hold this truth. Your story is not ending in sorrow. The blessing ahead is greater than the suffering behind. And soon, the joy that comes will make you forget the night of struggle, for the dawn is already breaking. Thank you for listening, and may your heart rest in the assurance that the blessing coming your way will make you forget the pain forever. Imagine a life where every desire of your heart has already come to pass. There is no separation between you and your dream, no gap between longing and fulfillment. In that silent space, you realize something profound. Manifestation is not spoken into existence. It is felt into existence. Words are tools, but they are not the source of creation. Your imagination, feel by feeling, is the architect of your reality. When you desire something deeply, don't just speak about it, embody it. Step into the emotional state where that wish has already been granted. Feel the joy, peace, or love as if it is already yours. Many fall into the trap of asking repeatedly, begging the universe for what they seek. But consider this. Does a person who truly has something need to beg? No. They dwell confidently in the knowing it is already theirs. Silence holds power. When you quiet your mind and tune into your heart's vibration, you tap into the source from which all creation flows. Instead of shouting your desires to the universe, feel your way into them. Words may scatter to the wind, but vibrations reshape the world around you. Be, my friend. My friend, what does that mean? Imagine what it feels like to have already received your desire. Don't wait for outer circumstances to validate your dream. Become it now, and life will mirror back the truth you hold within. Eventually, the truth will lift you up and make you see the power of your mind and manifesting your dreams. My friend, what does that mean? Imagine what it feels like to have already received your desire. Don't make everything in this universe is energy, resonating on its own unique frequency. When you align your feelings with your desired outcome, reality itself bends to meet you. Doors open, people appear, and opportunities unfold as effortlessly as breath. In this way, gratitude is one of the most powerful vibrations you can hold. Not mere words of thanks, but a deep inner state of certainty that what you seek is already yours. Feel thankful for the unseen forces moving on your behalf. Our blessed Lord has given us the ability to transform the limiting imagination into the unlimited. Imagination creates reality, not through words, but through the silent, unseen power of vibration. Feel your way to your destiny and watch as your life transforms beyond anything you could have spoken into existence. The state you assume within becomes the blueprint for the reality you experience outwardly. This is a fundamental truth about creation and manifestation that many overlook. While people often seek change by manipulating external circumstances, true transformation begins within. Your inner world, the thoughts, feelings, and assumptions you carry, dictates the course of your outer experience. When you assume something as true, even without visible evidence, you set into motion the unseen forces that shape reality to match your belief. And it may seem strange at first to grasp that assumptions held in mind can influence the tangible world. But consider this. Everything that exists first began as an idea, a vision, or a belief. The house you live in, the phone in your hand, the relationships you cultivate, all were once formless concepts imagined by someone before becoming manifest. Creation, therefore, follows a simple but profound process. Imagine, feel, assume, and then experience. Assumption is not merely thinking about what you desire, it is embodying the feeling as if the desire is already realized. This is why imagination is such a powerful tool. When you vividly imagine a scene in your mind, you are rehearsing the future. But to make this imaginative act effective, you must do more than visualize. You must feel it in your very being. The feeling generated by your assumption is the vibration that resonates with the reality you seek to manifest. For example, imagine someone yearning for success, but constantly affirming thoughts of failure and struggle. Even if they work tirelessly, their efforts are tainted by an inner vibration of lack and fear. Conversely, when a person assumes the state of already being successful, feeling gratitude and confidence, as if their dream has already materialized, life begins to reflect that inner certainty. Opportunities arise, people respond differently, and circumstances align to support their assumption. This shift happens not because of mere wishful thinking, but because the individual's vibration has changed to match the frequency of their desired reality. It's important to understand that assumption operates independently of current circumstances. The outside world may show no sign of the reality you desire, but that does not matter. The external world is a reflection, not the cause. By changing your assumption, you change what the reflection will eventually display. It is much like a mirror. If you want to see a smile reflected back, you must first smile. It is the most simple thing in the world. So when you see the smile on someone's face, you want to see that face. You cannot demand that the mirror change while your face remains unchanged. This principle applies to every aspect of life: health, relationships, finances, and personal fulfillment. By consistently assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you begin to shift your inner vibration. This is not a fleeting exercise, but a steadfast way of being. Doubts and fears may arise, but persistence in the new assumption overrides them. Over time, what once seemed distant or improbable becomes natural and inevitable. You become the nearest, and distant or improbable becomes natural and inevitable. You must also guard against assumptions that do not serve you. Many unconsciously assume states of worry, unworthiness, or lack, not realizing that these inner states will also be reflected in their outer experience. The mind is always creating, whether by default or by deliberate intention. Therefore, take care to consciously choose assumptions that align with the life you wish to lead. The careless consumptions may lead to wasted feelings and emotions, the feelings of the valuelessness of the entire situation. Assuming the best for yourself does not require force or struggle. It is about gently guiding your inner self to dwell in the feeling of having already received your desire. Let go of the how and when. Trust that once you assume a new state of being, the outer world will adjust in its own time and way to match it. Life is not happening to you. It is unfolding through you. Every experience is a reflection of your inner state. The power to reshape your world lies in the assumptions you choose to carry. Assume wisely, assume joyfully, and watch as your world transforms to reflect the beautiful reality you hold within. Words are mere shadows of intention, echoes of the deeper truth that lies within your feelings. When it comes to creating your desired reality, words alone are not enough. You can repeat affirmations or speak your goals aloud endlessly, but if your emotions remain unchanged, those words carry little power. Manifestation is not about what you say, it's about what you feel. Your feelings are the language the universe understands, and through them you broadcast the vibration of your desires. So, imagine standing before a vast field ready for planting. The words you speak are like seeds scattered across the surface, but without the right soil and nourishment, they cannot take root. Feelings, on the other hand, are the fertile ground in which those seeds grow. When you cultivate the emotions of already having your desire, joy, gratitude, peace, you breathe life into your intention, grounding it in the present moment. You transform desire from a distant hope into a living reality. To feel your desires real, you must act as if your wish has already been fulfilled. This is not about pretending or putting on a false front for the world. Instead, it is about shifting your internal state to reflect the reality you want to experience. Imagine waking up in the morning knowing that your dream is not just possible, but already done. How would you feel? What would your actions be like? You may even think about that dream in the morning, perhaps even pushing it away by the evening. How would you feel? What would your thoughts align differently? Carry that energy with you, and your external world will eventually rise to meet it. Yeah. And your external world will eventually rise to meet it. And consider someone who longs for financial security. If they constantly feel anxious about money, even while affirming wealth, their emotional state contradicts their verbal intention. The feeling of lack dominates, creating a barrier to manifestation. However, when they begin to cultivate feelings of abundance, imagining themselves living with financial ease, they align internally with the very frequency of wealth. As a result, their outer circumstances begin to reflect that state. Opportunities appear, solutions present themselves, and their relationship with money shifts positively. This approach applies to every area of life: love, health, career, or personal fulfillment. Feel the love you desire before it manifests physically. Feel the joy of vibrant health even before your body reflects it. Feel the success you seek in your career as though it is already yours. By anchoring these feelings in the present moment, you become a magnet for the experiences that mirror them. As the subconscious mind is a magnet for the experiences that mirror them, the key is consistency and persistence. It's easy to be swayed by appearances, to allow doubt or impatience to creep in when the outer world shows no immediate sign of change. But this is precisely when your practice must deepen. Feel it real, even in the face of contradiction. Trust that what you feel internally must eventually express itself outwardly, for that is the law of creation. If you liken this landscape, the nature of this landscape, and the great God within us, you have created the entire world. One powerful tool in this process is visualization combined with emotion. Take time each day to enter a state of deep relaxation and imagine a scene that represents your fulfilled desire. Make it vivid, see it, hear it, touch it, but most importantly, feel it. Feel the joy, peace, and gratitude as though you are already living that reality. Hold that feeling as long as you can, and then carry it with you throughout the day. This is not wishful thinking, it is conscious creation. By acting as if your wish has already been fulfilled, you bypass the limitations of the present and align yourself with the infinite possibilities available to you. When you master the art of feeling it real, you realize that you are never waiting for your desires to manifest, because in your heart, they already have. In this way, your feelings become the bridge between imagination and reality. Words may point the way, but feelings pave the path. Trust in this unseen power and watch as life transforms in accordance with the vibration you hold within. The universe always responds to the truth you embody. And when you feel your desires as real, reality has no choice but to reflect them back to you. In the noise of everyday life, we often believe that action and constant expression are necessary to achieve what we desire. We speak our dreams aloud, share our goals with others, and engage in endless conversations about what we want to create or become. While words can have their place, they are not the true agents of transformation. In fact, silence often speaks louder than words. In the stillness of your being, imagination finds its purest form, free from external distractions and internal doubts. When you release the need to verbalize, you unlock the deeper power of dwelling in the sensation of already having what you seek. Silence creates space. It is within this space that clarity emerges, allowing your imagination to rise above the noise of the mind. When you cease speaking about your desires and instead turn inward, you discover a profound connection to the reality you wish to experience. This connection is not dependent on external validation or approval. It is born from your unwavering belief and feeling. In silence, you step into a dimension where your imagination shapes your world, unburdened by the limitations imposed by language. Think of a still pond undisturbed by wind or ripples. When the surface is calm, it reflects the sky with perfect clarity. But when disturbed by external forces, the reflection becomes distorted. Your mind works in the same way. When filled with noise, whether through spoken words, racing thoughts, or external pressures, it becomes difficult to clearly imagine your desired state. Silence, however, calms the turbulence, creating a pristine space where your imagination can flourish. And imagination is the womb of creation. Everything you seek to manifest must first be formed in your inner world before it can materialize in the outer one. When you sit in silence and vividly imagine your wish fulfilled, you plant the seed of that creation within yourself. But imagination is most effective not when you speak of your desire as something distant or future-bound, but when you feel as if it is already done. Dwell in that feeling, not as a fleeting thought, but as a sustained sensation of certainty and gratitude. Verbalizing your desires can sometimes dilute their power by keeping them locked in the realm of asking and hoping rather than receiving and knowing. Imagine a child planting a seed in the ground and then constantly digging it up to check its progress. The seed requires stillness and time to grow. In the same way, your manifestations require silence and inner focus to take root and bloom. Dwelling in the sensation of already having what you seek means moving beyond words into a state of quiet knowing. You no longer need to convince yourself or anyone else of your desire's reality. You rest in the deep understanding that it is already yours. This inner stillness aligns you with the vibration of fulfillment, allowing the unseen forces of creation to work on your behalf. Silence does not mean passive waiting, it is an active engagement with your inner self. In those quiet moments, you strengthen your connection to your imagination and elevate your awareness. Your mind becomes a sacred space where you can fully experience the joy, peace, or love you seek, even before it physically manifests. This shift in perspective draws your desire closer, for life mirrors the reality you hold within. Release the compulsion to talk about your dreams incessantly or seek external validation. Silence is not emptiness, it is fullness. It holds within it the boundless potential of all you desire. By trusting in the stillness and immersing yourself in the feeling of fulfillment, you create a resonance with your imagined state, allowing it to materialize effortlessly. Let the silence speak for you. In its quiet embrace, your imagination gains clarity, your desires find form, and your dreams become inevitable realities. When you dwell in the sensation of already having what you seek, the universe listens, responds, and aligns itself to reflect back the truth you hold within. Living in the end is the art of embodying the emotional state of your fulfilled desire as if it has already come to pass. It is about shifting your focus from what is missing in your life to what is already yours in consciousness. This practice is not about pretending or ignoring your current circumstances, but about recognizing that your external reality is shaped by your internal state. When you master this mindset, you align with the vibration of fulfillment and allow life to mirror that truth back to you. Imagine you have already achieved your heart's desire. How would you feel if your dream were realized? Perhaps there would be a sense of joy, peace, relief, or gratitude. Now ask yourself, are these feelings dependent on the external manifestation, or can they be cultivated within you right now? The secret to living in the end is understanding that you do not have to wait for circumstances to change before you experience these emotions. Instead, you consciously choose to dwell in the emotional state of having your desire fulfilled, thereby drawing that reality into being. Think of it like tuning a radio to a specific frequency. The station you want to hear already exists, but unless your receiver is set to the right channel, you won't hear it. Your inner state is the frequency that attracts your outer reality. By embodying the feelings associated with your fulfilled desire, you are setting your internal dial to match the life you wish to experience. Camille, when you live in the end, doubt and fear lose their grip on you. You are no longer waiting anxiously for external proof, because in your heart you know the outcome is assured. This sense of certainty becomes a powerful force that shapes your actions, thoughts, and responses. Instead of questioning whether your desire will come to fruition, you act and think from the perspective of someone who already has what they seek. This shift in perspective creates alignment between your inner world and the outer reality that follows. One of the most profound benefits of living in the end is the peace it brings. The struggle to make things happen dissolves, replaced by a quiet confidence that everything is unfolding perfectly. You no longer feel the need to push, beg, or force your way through life. Instead, you move with grace, knowing that your desires are already realized in consciousness and that their physical manifestation is inevitable. You no longer hear voices that refuse to see definition. You no longer hear people saying things like, "It is important to remember that living in the end does not mean ignoring the present moment. Rather, it means engaging with the present from a place of fulfillment rather than lack." For example, if you desire a loving relationship, living in the end does not mean pretending your current circumstances don't exist. It means carrying within you the feeling of being deeply loved and valued, regardless of your relationship status. This inner state will naturally influence your actions and choices, creating a pathway for love to enter your life. Visualization can be a helpful tool in this process. Take time daily to imagine a scene that represents your fulfilled desire. Make it vivid and real. See it, hear it, feel it. But most importantly, immerse yourself in the emotions of that reality. Feel the joy, satisfaction, or gratitude, as though the scene is unfolding in this very moment. This emotional anchoring is what brings the vision to life within you, and eventually in your external world. Living in the end requires trust and persistence. There may be moments when doubt tries to creep in or when the external world challenges your inner knowing. In those times, return to the feeling of fulfillment. Remember that your inner state is the blueprint for your reality. Stay anchored in the truth that your desires are already yours in consciousness, and the world will rise to meet you in that truth. When you embody the emotional state of your fulfilled desire now, you are no longer waiting for life to catch up to your dreams. You are living them here and now as a present reality. And in doing so, you become the master creator of your life, effortlessly drawing to you all that you seek. There is an invisible connection between you and everything you desire. At its core, this connection operates through vibration and resonance, principles as real as gravity yet unseen to the eye. Just as a tuning fork vibrates when brought near the sound of the same frequency, your inner state resonates with the life experiences you attract. When you align your feelings with your vision, reality begins to shift, molding itself to match the energy you project. This is not coincidence or mere chance, but a fundamental truth about how creation unfolds. Every thought, emotion, and belief emits a vibration. These invisible frequencies interact with the world around you, influencing the circumstances, opportunities, and people that come into your life. Imagine your feelings as a signal broadcast to the universe. When your inner state aligns with the reality you wish to create, you become a magnet for experiences that reflect that vibration. Consider the moments when life seems to flow effortlessly, when opportunities appear without struggle and everything falls perfectly into place. This often happens when your inner state is in harmony with what you desire. You are not simply wishing for something passively. You are embodying the emotions, thoughts, and energy of having it already. In contrast, when you are filled with doubt, fear, or frustration, those frequencies can block the very things you seek from reaching you. Love. It is not enough to intellectually understand your vision or mechanically repeat affirmations detached from genuine feeling. The heart must engage fully, for it is the emotional resonance that carries the true creative power. If you wish for abundance, it is not enough to say, "I am wealthy." You must feel the freedom, security, and joy that comes with abundance. If you desire love, you must dwell in the emotions of being deeply cherished and connected. This feeling state is the bridge between your current experience and the reality you wish to create. One of the remarkable things about this invisible connection is that it does not require you to know how your vision will manifest. Your task is not to control the external circumstances, but to cultivate alignment within. Reality reshapes itself when your inner state becomes so aligned with your vision that there is no longer a gap between what you imagine and what you feel to be true. Subjectively, there is no longer a gap between what you imagine and what you feel to be true. The universe, responding to this energetic signal, brings the physical world into harmony with your inner reality. Match, make. Think of a radio broadcasting station. You cannot see the waves it transmits, yet when your receiver is tuned correctly, you hear the station clearly. Your feelings operate the same way. The clearer and more consistent your emotional resonance, the more seamlessly life responds to match it. By holding the frequency of what you wish to experience, you invite those experiences into your life, just as surely as tuning the radio dial draws in a particular station. The beauty of this process is its simplicity, though it requires practice and awareness. It asks you to go beyond surface-level thinking and connect deeply with the essence of what you desire. Instead of focusing on what is absent, feel the presence of your desire within you. Instead of yearning for something external, embody the joy and fulfillment of already having it. This internal shift in perspective begins to create an external shift in reality. It is also important to release attachment to the timing and form of manifestation. When you trust in the invisible connection between your inner state and the unfolding of reality, you realize that everything is working in perfect timing. Impatience and doubt disrupt the resonance, whereas faith and gratitude strengthen it. Remind yourself that the process is unfolding even when you cannot yet see the results. Aligning your feelings with your vision transforms your entire being into a living embodiment of your desires. The invisible connection between your inner world and the outer world is always active, responding faithfully to your energetic signals. By cultivating an inner state of peace, joy, and fulfillment, you set into motion the creation of a reality that mirrors your highest vision. Gratitude is often understood as a polite response to receiving something of value. But true gratitude transcends spoken words or outward gestures. It is a powerful vibration, a state of being rooted in the understanding that all you seek is already yours. When you dwell in genuine thankfulness, you shift your internal energy from lack to fulfillment, from waiting to having, and from fear to love. End of chapter 52. This inner state of knowing creates a magnetic force that draws the realization of your desires into your life. To grasp the full power of gratitude as a vibration, one must look beyond the surface expressions of thank you and instead cultivate a deep emotional experience of already being complete and abundant. It is not about reacting to what is visible in your life, but about recognizing the unseen forces constantly at work on your behalf. This recognition transforms your focus from longing to appreciation, and in that shift, miracles unfold. When you begin to embody gratitude, you anchor yourself in the present moment, where all creation begins. Instead of projecting your attention outward in search of what you lack, you turn inward and feel the fullness of life as it is. This feeling generates a harmonious vibration that aligns you with the frequency of your fulfilled desires. Life starts to respond to your gratitude by offering more reasons to be thankful, as though the universe itself is echoing your vibration back to you. You resist the Consider this. When you desire something, the natural tendency is often to focus on the absence of it. Thoughts center on what is missing or how long it has been delayed. This creates a vibration of lack, which in turn perpetuates the experience of not having. Gratitude, however, shifts the focus entirely. Instead of yearning for something outside yourself, you feel the reality of already possessing it within your consciousness. Thus begins the growth of your possibility, and the practice of gratitude grows with it. This emotional state resonates so strongly that it begins to shape the world around you to reflect that inner truth. Imagine holding a vision of your desired life and feeling profound gratitude, as though it were already realized. How would your body feel? What emotions would surface? Joy, peace, satisfaction? These feelings become the evidence of your alignment with the very thing you seek. The key is to maintain that emotional state not as a reaction to external circumstances, but as a conscious choice grounded in faith and inner knowing. This practice of living in gratitude becomes especially transformative when faced with challenges or delays. It is easy to express thanks when everything flows effortlessly, but the true test of gratitude's power is in maintaining it even when circumstances appear contrary to your desires. In these moments, gratitude serves as an unwavering declaration of trust, signaling that you are not swayed by temporary conditions, because you know that your reality is already unfolding perfectly in alignment with your vibration. Another dimension of gratitude as a vibration is the way it dissolves fear and doubt. When you genuinely feel grateful, there is no room for anxiety or impatience. You are anchored in the present, fully aware of the abundance available to you. This awareness silences the voice of lack and scarcity, replacing it with a deep sense of peace and sufficiency. Even when you cannot see immediate evidence of your desires manifesting, gratitude assures you that all is well and that everything you seek is already moving toward you. And practicing gratitude can be as simple as taking moments throughout the day to reflect on the blessings already present in your life. But beyond listing what you are thankful for, feel into the vibration of those blessings. Let the sensation of gratitude flood your being, shifting your energy and focus. As this becomes a daily habit, you will notice subtle but profound changes in how you perceive life and in how life responds to you. Gratitude as a vibration is not about passively accepting things as they are, but about recognizing your creative power and aligning yourself with the truth of abundance. When you live in this state of thankfulness, your desires cease to feel distant or elusive. They are already here, woven into the fabric of your being, waiting only for your conscious awareness to bring them fully to life. Through gratitude, you step into the reality of already having, and life responds by making it so. Manifestation is not about force, struggle, or even mere words. It's about embodying the vibration of your desires. When you live in the feeling of fulfillment, grounded in gratitude and trust, your inner world becomes the blueprint for your outer reality. Silence your doubts, anchor yourself in stillness, and dwell in the emotional state of already having what you seek. The universe always responds to the vibration you project, and through alignment with your vision, everything unfolds in perfect harmony. Thank you for embracing this journey of conscious creation. May your imagination, faith, and vibration transform your dreams into reality. Stay inspired, stay aligned, and remember, you are always one thought away from a new world. End quote. Continually inspired by faith and vision, I continue to be mindful and ready for the immediate actions in a matter of seconds, one stop at a time.
Let me tell you something most men fail to understand. When you go silent, when you remove yourself from the picture without begging or pleading, something powerful happens. You shift the dynamic. She starts to feel your absence, not as a punishment, but as a reflection of your value. The weak man chases, but the strong man steps back and lets his worth speak for itself. Respect for independence. Women admire strength and independence even if they don't say it aloud. When you stop hovering, you send a loud unspoken message. I don't need anyone to complete me. That's attractive. That's magnetic. That's what makes her curious about you again. You are special, dog. Specific, dog. You were special, dog. Power shifts. You're no longer at her beck and call. The frame shifts, and she starts thinking, why isn't he chasing? What's he doing that's more important than me? That's when she begins to realize your value. Scarcity creates value. Anything rare becomes more desirable. Simple economics, my friend. When you make yourself scarce, she starts seeing you differently. You're no longer the guy blowing up her phone. You become the guy who has better things to do. And that's what makes her want to come back. Self-improvement signals strength. If you use that no contact period to level up your life, whether it's hitting the gym, building your empire, or honing your skills, you become the man she regrets walking away from. Improvement is irresistible, and people always return to strength. Emotional reflection. Silence speaks louder than any argument. Without your presence, she's left with her thoughts. She'll start to question if letting you go was a mistake, and that thought can drive her back. A predictable man is boring, but a man who's mysterious, who's hard to read, that's the man who captivates her mind. By not contacting her, you become unpredictable. And trust me, curiosity is a powerful force. No contact isn't about games or revenge. It's about standing tall, knowing your worth, and letting the world adjust to your presence or your absence. When she returns, and believe me, many do, it's because she finally sees you for who you are. A man of value, a man in control, a man she can't ignore. When you step back from a situation and remove the energy of desperation, something profound begins to happen. Women, like everyone else, are naturally drawn to strength, confidence, and stability. These traits radiate when you're comfortable with your independence. There's a quiet power in a man who does not chase validation or cling to someone for his sense of self-worth. This isn't about arrogance or aloofness. It's about understanding your value and not feeling the need to prove it through constant attention-seeking behavior. When you embody this mindset, women take notice, even if they don't openly acknowledge it. Desperation, on the other hand, is a repellent. It communicates weakness, insecurity, and lack of control. When you constantly text, call, or seek reassurance, you're essentially saying, my happiness depends on your response. No person wants to carry that weight. It's draining and unattractive because it signals that you don't have a solid foundation within yourself. Women sense this immediately. They see through empty gestures fueled by fear and dependency, which only pushes them further away. When you respect your own independence, you signal that your life is already full. You're not waiting around for anyone to complete your world because your world is already thriving. This shift changes everything. Suddenly, the dynamic is no longer about chasing or pleading. It becomes about mutual respect and genuine attraction. You're now the man who can stand on his own 2 feet, and that confidence speaks louder than any words ever could. Stepping back and allowing space shows maturity. It demonstrates that you trust the natural flow of relationships and don't feel compelled to control or force outcomes. It's not about playing hard to get. It's about genuinely being hard to get because your time and energy are valuable. You're not accessible at every moment, nor are you constantly seeking validation from external sources. This cultivates an air of mystery and intrigue, which naturally draws women in. When a woman sees that you're not desperate, her perception of you changes. You're no longer just someone vying for her attention. You become a man who commands respect. You hold your ground and let others gravitate toward your energy. This shift often sparks curiosity. Why isn't he chasing, she wonders. That curiosity evolves into admiration when she realizes you are content and confident in your independence. Furthermore, respecting your independence allows you to focus on personal growth. Instead of wasting time fretting over someone else's approval, you channel that energy into bettering yourself. Whether it's pursuing a passion, building your career, or honing your physical fitness, self-improvement becomes the priority. And here's the truth. People are drawn to growth. When women see a man dedicated to his own progress, it sparks admiration and respect. Independence isn't about rejecting connection, it's about creating it on your terms. When you project strength and self-reliance, you become a beacon of stability and confidence, making you infinitely more attractive. Women are drawn to that energy, and without a word spoken, they recognize that your value isn't something you need to prove. It's already evident in who you are. Stepping away from a situation can create a powerful shift in dynamics, one that often works in your favor. When you remove yourself from constant communication and interaction, something happens that might surprise you. Your absence becomes louder than your presence ever was. It forces the other person to pause, reflect, and reassess what you brought to the table. This shift is critical because it removes you from a position of seeking approval and places you in one of control and value. You're no longer the one chasing. Instead, you allow space for her to consider what life is like without you in it. Human nature often leads us to take things for granted when they're readily available. When you're constantly around, accessible at all hours, or immediately responsive, it's easy for others to assume that you will always be there, requiring little thought or reflection. But when you step back, a vacuum is created, a noticeable absence that brings your presence into focus. Suddenly, the qualities that may have gone unnoticed become glaringly obvious. Tiredness, things you did, the conversations you shared, and the support you offered now stand out more starkly in your absence. This power shift is not about manipulation, but rather about allowing time and space to clarify value. It becomes an opportunity for reflection, especially for the woman who may not have fully appreciated your role in her life until it was no longer so immediate. Absence doesn't just highlight what's missing, it magnifies it. When the calls aren't coming, the texts aren't flowing, and your voice isn't heard, she begins to wonder, was I too quick to push him away? Did I undervalue what he brought into my life? Her absence gives her time to reconsider her own behavior and position in the relationship. It removes the pressure of constant interaction and allows her emotions to settle into clarity. In many cases, this leads to a realization of your worth that wasn't fully appreciated when you were always present. The things she may have overlooked, your support, humor, or presence, become much clearer without the distraction of everyday interactions. This shift often brings to light the contrast between you and others. While you are focusing on yourself and maintaining your composure, others may still be vying for her attention through desperate or clingy behavior. The calm strength of your distance contrasts sharply with the noise of neediness, setting you apart as someone who values himself enough to walk away without fear. That quiet confidence is compelling and memorable. Stepping away also signals a sense of purpose and self-respect. It shows that you're not dependent on anyone else for your happiness or fulfillment, which makes you inherently more attractive. When you stop chasing, you give the other person a chance to chase you. This reversal of roles is powerful because it demonstrates that you are in control of your life and your emotions, not swayed by the whims of others. Your absence speaks volumes. It gives her the chance to reflect on her feelings, reconsider her position, and recognize your value in a way that constant presence never could. Do you know how many times on each of those nights I'd run into a woman on almost identical missions to the one she was promising, desperately hoping to meet a man of her dreams? In every aspect of life, scarcity creates value. What is rare or not easily accessible becomes far more desirable simply because it is not available to everyone. This principle applies to material goods, experiences, and even relationships. When something is abundant, easily obtained, or constantly within reach, it often loses its allure. People may take it for granted or fail to appreciate its worth. However, when access is limited, curiosity and desire intensify. The same dynamic holds true in personal connections. When you are less available, your value increases, and people naturally become more drawn to you. Think about luxury goods. A limited edition watch or a rare sports car commands a higher price because only a select few can obtain it. The same watch, mass-produced and readily available at every store, would not carry the same level of prestige or demand. The rarity itself creates the desire. Human psychology is wired this way. We naturally want what we cannot easily have. The more difficult it is to acquire something, the more we perceive it as valuable. In relationships, this concept plays out when a person makes himself constantly available, always eager to respond and perpetually at the other person's disposal. This over-availability diminishes their perceived value because there's no sense of challenge or exclusivity. When someone knows they can reach you at any time and you will always be there, they may unconsciously begin to see your presence as routine rather than special. Familiarity without balance can lead to complacency. When you make yourself less accessible, you shift the dynamic. You are no longer predictable. And this scarcity begins to create intrigue. Why is he not responding right away? What is he doing that's more important? This mystery draws people in because the human mind is naturally curious. People often crave what is just beyond their reach. And when your time, energy, or presence becomes more limited, others start to desire more. This isn't about playing games or manipulating others. It's about maintaining balance and preserving your own sense of value. Scarcity in this context means having boundaries and a full life outside of any single relationship. It's about being someone who is focused on their own goals and passions, not just constantly available at the whim of another person's desires. When your time and attention are respected and not easily granted, they become treasured rather than expected. This scarcity allows space for genuine appreciation to grow. If you are always present, people may overlook your contributions and take your qualities for granted. But when you step back and focus on your own path, your absence creates room for reflection. They begin to recognize the value you bring, and when they do have access to your time, it becomes more meaningful. When handled with intention and authenticity, is a powerful tool for building respect and desire. It elevates your worth in the eyes of others and reminds them that your time, presence, and energy are not to be taken lightly. By being selective and purposeful with your availability, you create value that draws people in naturally, without ever having to chase or prove yourself. Stepping away from a relationship or a period of no contact often becomes a powerful opportunity for self-transformation. While some may view time apart as a passive state of waiting, those who truly understand growth recognize it as a rare chance to elevate themselves mentally, physically, and socially. This process not only strengthens your personal foundation, but also makes you increasingly attractive and magnetic when you re-enter someone's life. The version of yourself that returns after focusing on self-improvement is often stronger, more confident, and undeniably irresistible. When you commit to improving yourself during periods of separation, the first area of transformation is often mental. Time away allows you to gain clarity about your goals, values, and priorities. It forces you to confront any insecurities or limiting beliefs that may have been holding you back. You have the space to develop a stronger mindset, one that is rooted in self-respect and confidence rather than dependency on external validation. Through reading, learning, or engaging in activities that expand your knowledge and sharpen your focus, you build a solid mental foundation that exudes stability and intelligence, traits that naturally draw others in. Intelligence characterizes a person whose physical self-improvement often follows as a natural extension of mental growth. When you prioritize fitness, nutrition, or general health, not only do you transform your physical appearance, but you also project discipline and self-care. Taking care of your body shows that you respect yourself and value your well-being, which are attractive traits to others. Now, beyond just looking better, the energy and vitality that come from physical self-improvement make you feel better, radiating confidence and strength. Others can sense this positive shift because it's palpable. It changes the way you carry yourself and interact with the world. Social growth is another key element during periods of distance. By expanding your social circle, networking, or investing time in meaningful friendships, you show that your world does not revolve around one individual. Instead, you are building a rich and dynamic life filled with connections and experiences that fuel your personal growth. People are naturally drawn to those who lead interesting and well-rounded lives. When you return with new stories, experiences, and a broadened social perspective, you appear more vibrant and captivating than before. This transformation signals strength. It shows that you are not someone who wallows in setbacks or waits idly for things to change. Instead, you take control of your journey and actively seek improvement. This proactive approach is attractive because it demonstrates self-respect, ambition, and resilience, qualities that others can't help but admire. When someone sees that you have elevated yourself rather than clinging to the past, they realize you're not the same person who walked away. You've grown, evolved, and now bring even more to the table. And so we didn't bring anything new because nobody changed my opinion. By focusing on self-improvement, you become a living example of strength and evolution. The person who once knew you is now confronted with a version of you that is stronger, wiser, and more confident. This transformation doesn't just make you desirable, it makes you unforgettable. Silence holds a transformative power in relationships, often prompting emotional reflection that words or constant presence cannot achieve. When communication ceases and there's no immediate interaction to fill the void, a woman is naturally led to reevaluate her feelings. This time of introspection often deepens her understanding of your role in her life and can spark a renewed interest built on recognition of emotional value that may have gone unnoticed in the flow of daily interactions. Human emotions are complex and often obscured by distractions, routines, and the noise of everyday communication. When those distractions are stripped away during a period of no contact, emotions are left bare, giving a person time to sort through their true feelings without external influences clouding judgment. This absence forces a woman to reflect on her connection with you, contemplating the experiences shared, the qualities you bring, and the emotional depth that may have been overlooked or taken for granted. In this reflective silence, memories naturally resurface. The mind gravitates towards recalling meaningful conversations, moments of laughter, support during challenges, and the subtle ways you added value to her life. These memories take on new significance when there's no immediate reinforcement of them in the present. The realization often dawns that those contributions were not incidental, but vital to the emotional fulfillment she experienced. During this time, a woman may also gain clarity about her own feelings. Sometimes emotions become more apparent in their absence. What was once ignored or dismissed as routine may now stand out as essential. The longing for a connection often grows stronger as she processes the gap left by your presence. This longing isn't just about missing physical contact or communication, but recognizing an emotional resonance that was perhaps underappreciated before. Reflection during silence also allows a woman to assess the broader picture of her emotional needs. She may come to see that your stability, humor, or even the challenges you presented contributed to her growth and fulfillment. Emotional reflection creates space for a deeper acknowledgement of compatibility and connection that goes beyond surface-level attraction. It becomes a moment of truth where fleeting emotions fall away, leaving only what is genuine and lasting. This process of introspection can spark a renewed interest that is often stronger and more sincere than before. It is driven by a newfound appreciation and a deeper understanding of the bond you share. What was once taken for granted now becomes precious. What was overlooked is now cherished. The emotional clarity achieved during this time often leads a woman to seek reconnection, not out of mere habit, but from a place of conscious choice and awareness. Therefore, becomes a catalyst for emotional growth and renewed connection. It enables a woman to process her feelings without pressure or distraction, leading her to recognize your true value in her life. When she returns, it is often with a fresh perspective and deeper commitment, born out of authentic reflection rather than fleeting emotion. It is a powerful force that captures attention and keeps curiosity alive. In any interaction, whether personal or professional, being consistently predictable often leads to complacency. People lose interest when they know exactly what to expect and when to expect it. In contrast, when someone is unavailable or behaves in unexpected ways, they become intriguing, leaving others eager to learn more and constantly guessing about their next move. This spark of curiosity naturally draws others in, fostering deeper attraction and sustained interest. Predictability provides comfort, but it rarely stimulates excitement or passion. When someone always responds immediately, always follows the same routine, or always behaves in a predictable manner, interactions can start to feel monotonous. The human mind craves stimulation and thrives on solving mysteries, deciphering signals, and filling in the gaps of uncertainty. Unpredictability plays into this natural inclination, keeping others engaged as they try to anticipate what comes next. Being unavailable at times or choosing not to reveal every detail about your life creates an air of mystery. It signals that you are not easily read or completely accessible, which is intriguing in a world where most people are overly transparent or readily available. The unknown ignites curiosity because people are drawn to discover the things they don't fully understand. They wonder why you're not always present or responsive and what important things are capturing your attention instead. This mystery makes you more memorable because your absence creates space for imagination and interest to grow. Unpredictability also communicates independence and confidence. When others see that you are not constantly seeking validation or attention, it demonstrates that you have a life full of purpose and direction that does not revolve around seeking approval. People are naturally attracted to those who exude a sense of self-sufficiency and mystery. Your independence challenges others to earn your attention and time, making every interaction with you feel more valuable and significant. This approach doesn't mean playing games or intentionally being elusive to manipulate emotions. It's about maintaining healthy boundaries, living your life fully, and not being overly predictable in your interactions. When you prioritize your growth, goals, and pursuits instead of always being available, you cultivate an aura of respect and admiration. People start to see you as someone who has meaningful priorities, which inspires intrigue and admiration. Also invites spontaneity, which keeps relationships dynamic and exciting. When others can't predict your every move, they become more eager to engage with you, to understand what drives you, and to stay connected. The unpredictability sparks curiosity, not because you are distant, but because you demonstrate a life of purpose and excitement that naturally draws others to you. By being less predictable and fully living your own journey, you maintain a sense of mystery and individuality that keeps others interested. They remain curious about your thoughts, your moves, and your intentions. This engagement is not forced, but comes naturally as people seek to be part of your intriguing and ever-evolving life story. Curiosity becomes the bridge that sustains meaningful connection. In moments of silence and separation, the true power of self-respect, independence, unpredictability, and self-improvement shines. By stepping back, you give others the space to reflect, recognize, and appreciate your value. Growth in your absence creates a magnetic presence upon return, driven not by need or desperation, but by strength and transformation. When you prioritize becoming the best version of yourself, you naturally attract deeper connections and renewed interest. It's not about chasing or constantly proving your worth. It's about knowing it, living it, and letting others discover it in their own time. Thank you for listening and investing in your journey of self-mastery. Stay focused, stay strong, and always keep evolving.
Imagine for a moment a seed planted in fertile soil. Its purpose is singular: to grow, to blossom, to fulfill its destiny as a tree. It does not concern itself with the weeds beside it, nor does it shrink under the gaze of those who may not understand its journey. It simply grows. So too must you. Destiny recumbently delayed. Let this creature be grown within me, let it step out into the open. When you focus on yourself, on the vision you hold within, you begin to shape the world around you. Others may come and go, some may applaud while others criticize, but you must remember, their noise holds no power unless you give it permission to enter your sanctuary. Letting them go does not mean harboring resentment or anger. It is a silent declaration of freedom, an acknowledgement that your life is yours alone to design. You are not defined by who stays or who leaves. You are defined by the vision you uphold, by the power of your inner focus. Detach from the desire to explain, to seek validation, to be understood by those who cannot see what you see. Release the need for external approval and turn inward, where all clarity resides. Your heart knows the path even when the world around you does not. Then, in this quiet surrender, strength emerges. When you let go, you do not lose, you gain. You gain peace, purpose, and clarity. You make space for your higher self to manifest fully. The energy once wasted on holding on is now reclaimed to build, to create, to dream without limits. Nor is this all that is required of a true journey of self-discovery. Love needs care and guidance if it is going to gain the freedom which it demands. Be still and know that you are enough. Let them go. The ones meant for your journey will align effortlessly, while those not aligned will fade away. This is not a loss, it is a gift. For in focusing on yourself, you step fully into the life you were always meant to live. Turn your attention inward, not out of selfishness, but out of necessity. You were never meant to be distracted by the fleeting opinions of others. You were meant to bloom, to grow, unshaken by the storms around you, rooted in your own divine purpose. And in a beacon of victory, circling the universe, every experience in life begins within you. The world you perceive is not separate from your mind, but a reflection of the beliefs, emotions, and thoughts you carry. What you consistently dwell upon in your inner world becomes the blueprint for the reality you encounter externally. This truth may seem elusive to many, but its simplicity holds profound power when fully understood. Consider for a moment the role of thought in shaping your perception. The way you see any situation is determined not by the facts themselves, but by your interpretation of those facts. Two people can stand side by side, facing identical circumstances, yet their experiences will differ based on what they harbor within their minds. One sees endless opportunities, while the other perceives obstacles at every turn. The difference lies not in the external world, but in the internal landscapes they nurture. Your focus is a double-edged sword. It is either your path to freedom or your descent into bondage. When your mind is consumed by thoughts of lack, fear, and limitation, you unconsciously invite those very experiences into your life. You become trapped in a cycle where negative thoughts breed more negative outcomes, reinforcing a belief that life is harsh and unforgiving. This is not because the world itself is cruel, but because the energy you project creates a mirror-like reflection in your reality. You see the world as bleak and empty, and you create the sense of loneliness, the desire for connection, and the fear of separation. On the other hand, when you shift your focus toward abundance, peace, and possibility, your world begins to align accordingly. This is not mere optimism, it is the law of consciousness at work. Your attention acts as a magnet, drawing experiences that resonate with the energy you embody. By dwelling on positive outcomes and visualizing success, you plant seeds for a future that mirrors those intentions. Seeds. Trees. Seeds are the seeds for a future that mirrors those intentions. The world will conspire to meet you where your mind resides. This does not mean life will always present clear skies and smooth paths. Challenges are inevitable, yet even in these moments your internal state defines your ability to rise above them. When faced with difficulty, if your mind remains anchored in strength and clarity, the obstacles before you transform from insurmountable barriers to stepping stones for growth. You realize that the external world holds no dominion over your peace, only your reaction does. Mastering this truth requires intentionality. You must become aware of what occupies your thoughts moment by moment. Are you nurturing fear or faith? Do you dwell on lack or abundance? It may seem a daunting task, but the reward for such mindfulness is profound. With consistent practice, you begin to see how life reshapes itself to mirror your refined inner state. The key to freedom lies in this awareness. By consciously choosing to focus on empowering thoughts, you release yourself from the chains of limitation. No longer do external circumstances dictate your peace or success. Instead, you become the master of your reality. guiding it by the steady hand of inner focus. Bondage dissolves as you reclaim your power from the chaos of the outside world, anchoring it firmly within yourself. Internal well-being. It is important to remember that this transformation does not happen overnight. The inner shift requires patience, dedication, and a willingness to unlearn old habits of thought. You may stumble, finding yourself caught in negative spirals from time to time. But with each conscious effort to refocus your mind on what serves you, you strengthen your ability to maintain alignment with the reality you wish to experience. We are all connected, and the connection to our natural world is the goaling piece for upholding promotion and a strong determination to maintain alignment with the reality you wish to experience. As you embrace this practice, a profound shift occurs. Life begins to reflect your inner peace, joy, and abundance more clearly. Relationships improve, opportunities unfold, and a sense of fulfillment becomes your constant companion. This is not magic. It is the natural outcome of a mind that knows its own creative power and uses it wisely. You are always creating your reality, whether consciously or unconsciously. The invitation before you is simple. Choose to create with intention. Focus on what uplifts you, what aligns with your highest desires, and watch as your external world transforms to reflect the limitless potential within you. Your freedom lies in your focus. Use it well. In a world that constantly demands validation, it is easy to become entangled in the web of others' opinions. From an early age, society teaches us to seek approval, whether from family, friends, peers, or even strangers. We learn to measure our worth through external affirmation, forgetting the intrinsic value we already possess. But the truth is simple. Others' opinions have no real power over your life unless you grant them authority. Living for validation creates a fragile existence. You become like a ship tossed by every wave of praise or criticism, your peace dependent on the unpredictable tides of external opinion. When someone approves of you, life feels good. When disapproval comes, self-doubt creeps in. This roller coaster of emotions becomes exhausting because the source of your self-worth is always outside your control. Guided to detach from the opinions of others is not to disregard them with arrogance or disrespect. It is about reclaiming your freedom to live authentically, without being swayed by the ever-changing views of those around you. Opinions are subjective and shaped by personal experiences, biases, and perceptions that often have little to do with your truth. What someone thinks of you is a reflection of their own worldview, not an objective assessment of your worth. And consider how often people's opinions contradict each other. What one person admires, another may disdain. If you shape your actions to please one voice, you inevitably disappoint another. Trying to cater to everyone is a futile endeavor that leaves you disconnected from your own desires and values. You end up living a life that is not truly your own, a patchwork of borrowed expectations stitched together by fear of judgment. Second thing, true freedom begins when you release the need for approval. You stand firm in your authenticity, knowing that your worth is not determined by external validation, but by the relationship you cultivate with yourself. This shift allows you to act not from a place of seeking permission, but from a space of inner clarity and purpose. Your choices become aligned with what resonates deeply with your soul, rather than what will earn applause from the outside world. The path to detachment begins with self-awareness. Pay attention to moments when you find yourself seeking approval or altering your behavior to gain acceptance. Ask yourself, who am I doing this for? Does this align with my true desires, or am I trying to fit into someone else's expectations? These reflections help you recognize where external opinions have silently taken control of your decision. Building confidence in your inner voice takes time and courage. The noise of the world can be loud, and the temptation to conform is strong. But as you practice turning inward, listening to your intuition, and acting on your own convictions, that internal voice becomes stronger and clearer. Each time you choose authenticity over validation, you reclaim a piece of your freedom, and you reclaim a piece of your heart. This is made obvious for the contrast, but gives strength and resolution to your own voice. Detaching from opinions also involves understanding that rejection or criticism is not a reflection of failure. Not everyone will understand or agree with your path, and that is okay. You are not here to meet everyone's expectations, but to fulfill your unique purpose. Even those who disapprove are often projecting their own fears or limitations. Their criticism is not about you, it is about them. Imagine the liberation of living without fear of judgment. You become more present, focused on what truly matters, and open to life's opportunities without the weight of others' expectations holding you back. You can pursue your dreams with conviction, knowing that your worth is inherent and unshakable. Letting go of external validation allows you to connect deeply with your true self. You find joy not in being praised, but in living authentically. This is where genuine fulfillment resides, not in the fleeting approval of others, but in the peace of knowing you are walking your path with integrity and purpose. Let their opinions come and go, like passing clouds. Your truth remains constant, a guiding light that no external judgment can dim. Here, life is not something that merely happens to you. It is something you shape with the power of your mind and intention. Every thought, belief, and decision contributes to the reality you experience. You are not a passive observer in the story of your life. You are the creator, the one who directs how the narrative unfolds. The world responds not to chance or fate, but to the energy you project and the clarity of your purpose. When you center your mind on your purpose, distractions begin to lose their power. The opinions and actions of others, which often seem so significant, are revealed for what they truly are: external noise. They have no authority over your destiny unless you grant them that power. By choosing to remain focused on your vision, you become immune to the pull of doubt or criticism. You claim your rightful place as the master of your journey. This mastery does not come from controlling every circumstance around you. It comes from mastering yourself. It is about aligning your thoughts and emotions with the outcomes you desire. Imagine your mind as fertile soil. Whatever seeds you plant and nurture will grow. If you allow fear, insecurity, or distraction to take root, they will flourish, choking out your true purpose. Seed and sprout beings that are more everlasting than beings that are eternal. Seed, but when you deliberately cultivate thoughts of purpose, success, and fulfillment, your external world will mirror those inner convictions. Purpose acts as a compass, guiding you through challenges and setbacks. Life will inevitably present difficulties, and others may try to impose their limitations or judgments upon you. But when your mind is centered on your purpose, these external influences cannot sway you. You understand that your destiny is not determined by what others think or say. It is defined by the strength of your commitment to yourself. Remaining focused in this way requires clarity and intention. It is easy to be pulled off course by the desires and expectations of others. Sometimes these distractions come disguised as well-meaning advice or societal norms. But true purpose does not conform to the world's expectations. It comes from within, from a place that knows your unique path better than anyone else ever could. To fully embrace your role as the creator of your experience, you must also release the need for approval. Seeking validation from others weakens your ability to trust yourself. It places your power in the hands of external forces, making your fulfillment dependent on opinions you cannot control. But when you let go of this need, you free yourself to live authentically, guided by your own truth. This does not mean isolating yourself or ignoring feedback altogether. It means discerning between voices that align with your purpose and those that do not. Constructive feedback can be valuable when it resonates with your vision, but opinions rooted in fear, jealousy, or misunderstanding should be released without hesitation. They have no place in shaping your destiny. Every day you are presented with a choice: to react to external distractions or to stay grounded in your inner truth. Choosing the latter may not always be easy, but it is the key to creating a life that reflects your deepest desires. Each time you redirect your focus toward your purpose, you strengthen your creative power. You reinforce the belief that you are in control, that your mind is the most powerful tool you possess in shaping your future. When you live from this place of centered purpose, life unfolds differently. Opportunities appear where once there were obstacles. Confidence replaces doubt. Relationships that no longer serve your growth naturally fall away, making room for connections that support your journey. This is not coincidence. It is the natural result of aligning your internal world with your desired external reality. Self-love is not selfish. It is essential. It is the foundation upon which all true freedom is built. Without it, you remain a prisoner to doubt, fear, and the expectations of others. But when you honor your desires and dreams without apology, you unlock a life of authenticity and fulfillment. In this space of self-respect and self-compassion, your ability to create a meaningful and joyful existence flourishes. Many are taught to seek love and validation from external sources. Society often implies that happiness lies in the approval of others, in meeting expectations or conforming to norms. But this approach leaves you vulnerable and dependent on forces outside your control. True freedom arises when you no longer seek permission to exist as you are. It begins when you understand that your value is inherent and does not need validation. To love yourself fully is to acknowledge that your desires and dreams are worthy simply because they are yours. You need not justify your ambitions to anyone. The longing you feel for growth, fulfillment, or joy is the language of your soul urging you forward. By honoring those inner calls, you step into your power and begin to live authentically, unburdened by the need to please others or gain approval. Nurturing self-love means prioritizing your well-being and personal growth. This is not about ego or arrogance. It is about recognizing that you cannot pour from an empty cup. When you invest time and energy into your own healing, development, and happiness, you cultivate a life rooted in purpose and strength. You become more present, more whole, and ultimately more able to give to others from a place of abundance rather than depletion. Focusing on your growth does not mean abandoning those around you. In fact, when you love and respect yourself, you model for others what it means to live authentically and with integrity. Your self-assured presence inspires others to do the same. Relationships become healthier when they are built on mutual respect rather than dependency or approval seeking. And happiness rises also. However, the journey to self-love is not always smooth. Old patterns of self-doubt or guilt may resurface, urging you to prioritize others' needs over your own. You might face resistance from those accustomed to you sacrificing your happiness for their comfort. But remember, loving yourself is not about rejecting others. It is about choosing to live in alignment with your truth. This journey requires you to set boundaries and honor them, even when it feels uncomfortable. It involves saying no to what drains you and yes to what nurtures you. It means celebrating your victories, no matter how small, and offering yourself grace when things don't go as planned. Self-love is a practice, one that deepens over time as you learn to trust yourself and your ability to navigate life's challenges. As you cultivate this love for yourself, you will notice a shift in how life responds. Opportunities aligned with your authentic self begin to appear. People who resonate with your truth are naturally drawn into your orbit, while relationships and circumstances that no longer serve your growth fall away. This is not coincidence, but a reflection of your internal transformation manifesting externally. The Bible also teaches us that there is no advantage in planning the imagination. A person's relative position in the connection with the rest of the world is not an advantage in planning the imagination. Self-love frees you from the need to chase happiness because you realize it resides within you. It teaches you that you are enough as you are, even as you strive for growth and improvement. You come to understand that your worth is not tied to achievements, appearance, or others' opinions. It simply is. When you honor your desires and dreams without apology, you declare to the universe that you are ready to live fully and authentically. By nurturing your own growth, you pave the way for a life that aligns with your deepest values and aspirations. This is the essence of true freedom, the ability to walk your path with confidence, love, and purpose, unshaken by the fleeting judgments of the world. Letting go is often seen as an act of loss, but in truth, it is a powerful practice of creation. It is through releasing what no longer serves you, whether relationships, limiting beliefs, or attachments, that you create space for the abundance life is waiting to offer. Holding on too tightly to things, people, or circumstances can block the flow of new opportunities and experiences. By letting go, you open yourself to the limitless possibilities that exist beyond your current state. Attachments can weigh heavily on your heart and mind, keeping you tethered to old energies and patterns that may no longer align with your growth. These attachments often stem from fear of change, fear of loss, or fear of stepping into the unknown. But abundance cannot flow freely into a life dominated by fear. It requires openness, trust, and the willingness to release what keeps you stagnant. Letting go does not mean abandoning care or connection. It means recognizing when something has fulfilled its purpose in your journey and allowing it to move on. This might be a relationship that has run its course, a job that no longer fuels your passion, or even an outdated mindset that limits your potential. When you release these attachments, you do not diminish their value or importance. Instead, you honor their role in your growth while making room for what is next. You must honor their role in your growth while making room for what is next. The things we cling to most tightly are the very things that prevent us from receiving greater blessings. When you fixate on one specific outcome or person, you limit yourself to that narrow possibility. But life's abundance is vast and boundless, far greater than anything you can imagine. Letting go allows the universe to work in ways beyond your immediate understanding, bringing forth experiences and opportunities perfectly aligned with your highest good. Life is a battle of equivocance. Opportunities perfectly aligned with your skills and desires and often lies in few trifles which fall short of your highest good. Releasing attachments requires trust. Trust in yourself and trust in the unfolding of life. It demands that you let go of control, surrendering to the flow of divine timing and wisdom. This surrender is not about passivity but about faith. It is about knowing that what is meant for you will find you, often in ways that defy logic or expectation. Surrender is also an invisible hand which holds out the gates and invites all within it, including the more distant suns of awareness. The process of letting go can be uncomfortable. It may stir emotions such as grief, confusion, or fear. But within this discomfort lies transformation. Just as a seed must break open to grow into a thriving plant, you must release old forms to step fully into your next stage of being. The space created by letting go is fertile ground for new possibilities to take root and flourish. Instead, as you clear away attachments, you make room for abundance, not just in material forms, but in joy, peace, and fulfillment. Relationships that truly serve your growth emerge naturally when you release those that drain your energy. Opportunities that align with your passions present themselves when you let go of rigid ideas about success. Peace replaces anxiety as you release the need to control every outcome. Letting go also reconnects you with your inner power. When you release external attachments, you stop looking outward for validation or security. You begin to recognize that true abundance is generated from within, flowing from your alignment with your purpose and values. This internal shift radiates outward, attracting more of what resonates with your highest self. The life you desire is always seeking to manifest itself fully. Your role is not to force or chase it, but to clear the way for its natural unfolding. Letting go allows the energy of abundance to flow freely into your experience, unhindered by outdated attachments or limiting beliefs. Letting go is not an act of loss, but one of creation. With each release, you affirm your readiness to receive more of what life has to offer. You step into a space of openness, trust, and infinite possibility, where abundance flows effortlessly and your life transforms in ways you could never have imagined. There is only space for you in the universe. There is only space for you among friends, of love and family. In a world filled with constant noise and distractions, the practice of stillness has become a rare and precious gift. The relentless demands of life often compel you to seek validation, answers, and direction from external sources. But the truth is, everything you need already resides within you. The key is learning to quiet the external clamor and trust the voice of your intuition. When you allow yourself to be still, you create space for clarity, wisdom, and inner peace to emerge. Stillness is not simply about the absence of movement or noise. It is a state of being in which your mind settles, your heart opens, and your true essence reveals itself. In this space, you remember that you are enough, complete and whole just as you are. Society may tell you that you must strive to become more, achieve more, or prove your worth. But in the quiet moments of stillness, those illusions fade away, and the profound truth of your inherent value becomes clear. Many people fear stillness because it can feel uncomfortable at first. When the distractions of daily life are stripped away, you may be confronted with thoughts and feelings you have long ignored. But these moments of discomfort are not to be feared. They are part of the healing process. They provide an opportunity to confront and release the mental clutter that clouds your judgment and keeps you from fully embracing your worth. Something like this has happened already in my life, using the silent retreats, and especially the bigger buildings that go together with breathing spaces and really embrace your worth. Your intuition speaks softly yet powerfully. It is not the voice of fear or doubt, but a steady and gentle knowing that guides you toward your highest path. This inner wisdom is always available to you, but it cannot be heard over the noise of external opinions and societal expectations. Only by turning inward and embracing the silence can you truly hear the guidance that will lead you to fulfillment and purpose. Learning to be still does not require a perfect environment or hours of meditation. It can be as simple as taking a few moments each day to pause, breathe, and listen. Find a quiet space where you can sit undisturbed, even if only for a short time. Close your eyes, release any tension in your body, and bring your awareness to the present moment. Let go of the need to analyze or solve anything. Simply be with yourself, allowing thoughts to pass without judgment. As you cultivate this practice, you will notice a shift in how you experience the world. The external pressures that once seemed overwhelming begin to lose their power over you. You realize that your worth is not determined by achievements, possessions, or others' opinions. It is an unchanging truth, grounded in your existence alone. This realization frees you to live authentically and courageously, unburdened by the need for external validation. Unburdened by the need for external validation. Being still and knowing you are enough also opens the door to greater self-compassion. You begin to see yourself not as flawed or lacking, but as a beautifully imperfect being on a journey of growth. This self-acceptance allows you to extend greater kindness and understanding to others, fostering deeper and more meaningful connections. And this is Golden Age. Guided by this, you can face any challenge from the darkness and move into the daylight that lies beyond. The wisdom and direction you seek are not found in the external world, but within your own heart and mind. Trust that the answers will reveal themselves when you create the space for stillness and listening. You do not need to have every detail of your path figured out or seek approval from others to move forward. The gentle whisper of your intuition will guide you, step by step, toward your highest purpose. In less than 20 seconds, the narrow gate will open. The stillness within you is a wellspring of wisdom, peace, and self-awarenessness. It is always present, waiting for you to return to its embrace. In those quiet moments, you rediscover your truth. You are whole, complete, and enough just as you are. Embrace this knowing, and you will walk your path with clarity, strength, and unshakable confidence. In life, the greatest journey is the one back to yourself, where you remember that your worth is not defined by external validation or fleeting opinions. It is found in your quiet moments of stillness, your ability to let go, and your unwavering trust in the limitless abundance available to you when you align with your true self. By focusing inward, nurturing self-love, and releasing attachments, you step into your power as the creator of your experience. Honor your path, trust your intuition, and know that you are already enough. The wisdom you seek resides within, ready to guide you when you quiet the noise and listen. Life's greatest transformations often begin when you let go and make room for what is meant to be. Thank you for allowing these words to be part of your journey. May they serve as a gentle reminder of your strength, worth, and infinite potential. Blessings on your path forward. Buruk Binde. Bye.